Right, good day to grade 12s. Inverse functions, we're first going to revise everything you need to know for exponential functions. Right, this is more or less our favorite for exam, but we test parabola or exponential, but exponential appears the most. Right? So, general equation for exponential graph or exponential function, y equal a times b x minus p plus q. P must be greater than 0 and P cannot equal 0. Right, so number 1, if that A value is a positive value, A greater than 0, and P is a positive value bigger than 1, then my graph shape will always go from the left. It will start in the left and rise towards the right of the Cartesian plane. So generally I say it goes from second to first quadrant, or it can rise from third quadrant into first quadrant. Very important, we ask this every occasion, is it increasing or decreasing? This is called the increasing function. And you'll see there said as x increases, y increases, meaning as I move this side here, my x values are increasing. They're going from negative to positive. But at the same time, because the graph is going up, my y values are also increasing. So when my x and my y is increasing, this is called the increasing function, right? So look at the next shapes. Right, same equation. If a is less than 0, meaning a is negative, but b is a positive value bigger than 1, my graph would go from the left down into the right quadrant, right? So there, you can see I can go from second to fourth or from third to fourth quadrant. This line that you see there that's drawn, that is the line the exponential graph is not allowed to touch. That is normally related to the q value, but I'll show you that when we solve the problems. This is called a decreasing function. See, my x values as I go towards the right is increasing, but my y values are decreasing. So x increases and y decreases, therefore it's called a decreasing function. Alright, we look at the third one. Now a is positive, but b is now a fraction, meaning b is less than 1 but greater than 0. So half, a third, right, etc. falls in between 0 and 1. So we have that. The graph would then start from the right and increase into the left. Right? Again, you see this line here, y equal to the q value. That is my asymptote. You should know that from grade 11. And here, this is also called a decreasing function. See, again, as I increase the x, the y is decreasing, right? So therefore, decreasing function. As x increases, y decreases. Right, and then fourth, last shape, if a is less than 0, so a is now a negative value there, but b is a fraction, then my graph would increase from the left into the right. Again, that black line you see there, y equal to whatever the q value. So if I have minus 2 there, then this would read y equal negative 2. This is called the increasing function because as I increase x, y is also increasing. So hope you understand. That's much just to refresh so that you can see which shapes and how the exponential graph would look. Now, a general equation, we said y equal abx minus p plus q, where b is greater than 0 and p not equal to 0. So number 1, as I said in the drawings, y equal to q is called a horizontal asymptote, meaning you cannot find the value there, so the graph can't touch that line. All right? A and b together determines whether the function is increasing or decreasing. So from there, increasing, a is positive or a is negative. When p is greater than 1 or p is less than 1, greater than 0, those are increasing. Decreasing there, a less than 0 and p greater than 1, or a greater than 0 and p less than 1, greater than 0. Right? For domain, if we ask you to find domain for exponential, it will always be x element of real numbers. The range is directly related to the q value. Right? So if a is greater than 0, the graph is going up. right? So therefore y is greater than that asymptote q. If a is less than 0, the graph is below the asymptote, and therefore we say y less than q. So very important, the range, if a is positive, the graph will always be above the asymptote. So therefore, it must go from the asymptote up, y greater than q. And if a is negative, the graph will always be below the asymptote, therefore y less than q. Right? If you will like and enjoy what I've done, please subscribe. Right? If it's my accent, yeah, tell me, I understand. It's a wonderful country we're staying in, South Africa, many accents we taught at school and so on, right? So please subscribe. Don't be shy. Just press the button, right? Translation. So we, as I said, under parabola, we will and can test you to find a new equation. So the value of p there will always translate the graph left or right. If I say 3 units right and I'm going in the equation, remember the sign changes. So right is not positive, but written as negative. So 3 units right, negative 3. 4 units left, left will then become positive, plus 4. And that I explained under the parabola as well. If we translate up or down, then we use q. So if I say 2 units up, where q is, I'm going to write plus 2. If I say 6 units down, negative 6. Right? So I hope you enjoy. I hope you understand. I hope my colors make it possible for you to understand what I'm doing. Right? Wish you nothing but the best. I'm doing all of this with the hope that I can help as many learners as possible. I just love teaching the subject. It's a wonderful subject. Have a wonderful day.